Good evening, everybody. Okay, so I see lots and lots of people here, and we're here to celebrate the 65th anniversary, and so that means I am a teacher at heart. So when I say good evening, I'm gonna want you to go from that level 3, 4 out of 10. We're gonna raise it up to about an 8 or 9. Good evening, everybody. There we go. So my name is Modiehi Notwani Eugene, and I currently serve as the interim chief schools officer. And what that means is I get to work with amazing people, amazing leaders, teachers, staff members who really put our kids at the center. And so if you are a staff member for EHTP, please raise your hand. Please give them a round of applause because they make this happen for our kids each and every single day. And so I would like to welcome everyone into this beautiful space. It is an honor to be here with all of you in this very special occasion. To know me, as you can tell my attire, I wear my culture. My name is Modiehi. It means delayed angel. And so what is important to know is at the time that my parents gave me that name, it was during apartheid. And so during apartheid era, it was easier to assimilate and give your children an English-speaking names. But from the very moment that I was born into this world, they understood the power of claiming who you are. And so what I want to make that connection to is what Marcus Garvey said. A people without knowledge of their history, origin, culture is like a tree without roots. And so we are here because our team is intentional. We could have been anywhere else, y'all. It's New York City. But we chose to be here in East Harlem, right here in 2050. Here when the original ancestral lands of the Lenape homelands, right here where you stand. Right here where we stand in our schools where our kids come into school every single day ready to learn. We could have been anywhere else, but we're here. We are here where there is full of power and knowledge that you all get to be a part of. And so one of the things I asked some of our guests tonight, I said, what keeps you with EHTP? Guess what they said? Guess what they said? Hello. Some people say Harlem. I heard it's about the kids. And that is why we are here. There's legacy in this room. And you get to be part of that. And so before we get started this evening, I would like to talk about that number 65. 65 means it's a reminder of the hard work, dedication, and determination that anything is possible. That number encourages us to take risks at our own pace. It reminds us that we must keep an open mind and remain focused when it comes to achieving our life goals. Talk to me about what our kids are going to say about us 65 years from now. You get to be a part of that. There's legacy members in this room who've been here from the very beginning. And so we know that everyone in this room cares about EHTP, the mission, and the children that we serve, and that makes us community. And so when I think about the word community, and as I get to work with all of our leaders, it makes me think about that quote from Peter Block. And it goes like this. Community is about the experience of belonging. We are in community each time we find a place where we belong. To belong is to be related to be a part of something. It is membership. It is the experience of being at home in the broadest sense of the phrase. It is the opposite of thinking wherever I am, I will be better off somewhere else. Or that I will be forever wondering, looking for a place where I belong. The opposite of belonging is to feel isolated and always on the margin of an outsider. To belong is to know that even in the middle of the night, that I am among friends. The second meaning of belong has to do with being an owner, something that belongs to me. Something that belongs to me. To belong in a community is to act as a co-creator, a co-owner of that community. What I consider mine, I will build and nurture. The work then is to seek in our communities a wider and deeper sense of emotional ownership. It is the fostering among all community citizens a sense of ownership and accountability. And that is exactly what I'm so excited about this evening. If you have not made a contribution, it is not too late. Please understand every single contribution that you make is going to impact our children. And the beautiful thing about that, it doesn't end with them. It's a generational impact. And so tonight, you all will get to have a wonderful performance because the one thing that's beautiful at East Harlem is the talent that's right here in our community. I'm gonna say that one more time because I need y'all to get excited about the talent that's right here in East Harlem. And then we'll be putting a great performance. As you can imagine, we have all the talent that's right here. So this will get us ready to present our James Baldwin Award and commemorate the 65 years of EHTP making a difference. Please, 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 put a round of applause for East Harlem Scholars Academy High School Ensemble and Dance Team!
Let's move on up, y'all. Don't be scared. Move on up.
One more time for our dance team, please.
Catch my fly, my cocky fresh. I'm so reckless when I rock my Givenchy dress. I'm so possessive, so I rock his rock necklaces. My daddy Alabama, I'm a Louisiana. You mix that Negro with that Creole, make a taste it better. I like my Negro love and should I fall out? Blow it up, that's how we fall out. Strip clubs and dollar bills. Still got my money, drone shots, and get my bill. Still got my money, strippers going up and down that pole. Still got my money, 4 o'clock with me going home. Still got my money, money make the world go round. Still got my money, things make your world go down. Still got my money, I'm where I came from. Still got my money, if you ask, know you won't smoke. Still got my money. All I see is signs, all I see is dollar signs. Money on my mind, money on my mind. Throw it up, watch it fall from the sky. I'm deciding with the trip, baby mommy with the clip. Want my body to the, bring her body to the whip. And she find her, she thick. Damn, pass the river, take my time, let her try me, half the time. I was born to flex, diamonds on my neck. I like more than jets, I like more than, but nothing in this world that I like more than checks. All I really wanna see is money. I don't really need to be anything. All I beg, need is money. I got bands in the coop, bustin' out the roof. I got bands in the coop. Touch me out, shake it low, get a little bag, take it to the store. Get a little cash, shake it real fast, get a little more. I got bands in the coop, bustin' out the roof. I got bands in the coop. Touch me out.
Good evening, everybody. You should know from Modier, there's not going to be any quiet good evenings. Good evening. All right. Is this great we're in East Harlem or what? Before I get into this remarks, so hi, I'm Jeff Ginsberg. I'm the CEO of the organization, CEO and co-founder of our schools. But before I get into the remarks, if you want to know who EHTP really is in terms of our supporters, think about it this way. We used to have the event, we'd go downtown in a fancy museum and we'd serve you a steak and the whole thing and spend all this money, but now we've had you up to East Harlem. We just gotta throw a party because the people that care about EHTP, they care about this, right? And so that's what's so great about having a real family and real community, so I'm so glad you're all here tonight. I was laughing when I got a note from Ingrid, and I'm going to talk about Ingrid because she basically did so much of the work to get this event together, and you're going to hear from her in a minute. But I got this note from Ingrid about the program notes, and she said, for my section, it was like 6 minutes and sum up your 15 years running the organization. So, well, that's not going to happen, and that's not really what tonight's about. It is, above all, in terms of this program, it's about the person with no parallel, Sandra Cisneros, who we are so deeply honored to have in our space today, and I can't wait. So I want to make sure we leave the time for that, and I recognize you're all standing. But what I will say, just to reflect back on where we've been, but more importantly, where we're going as an organization, we're going to take a look at those core values that happen to be on the side over there. And can I ask, can you all take like a couple steps forward? This is just too awkward for me, I'm sorry. It's just too awkward. Thank you. So, about a little over a decade ago, as Cheyenne Batista, our founding principal and the founding superintendent, came in, we were talking about opening these schools after 53 years of EHTP having after-school programs. We talked about that we had to talk to our community about what we thought should be our values. And over a series of months of conversations and meetings, we landed on this scholar word. So first one, take a look over. And we're all going to say the word together in 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to do a little better. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. All right, so when I think about service, I think about all the incredible people that work in this organization, right? And I know Modier, he recognized them, but I just want to say again, I want to start with our senior team who you're meeting tonight, Modiehi, Ingrid, and Nyasha. Can we give it up for them? Our chiefs are on the organization. And then the staff that have helped put this event together. We've got Ingrid, we've got Kim, we've got Talia, we've got Josh, we've got Margarita. Oh my God, here we go. We've got Claudia, we got Raul, right? So this team that has put this together to have this in our space, can we give it up for them? This is a lot of work. When I got to the organization, we had 14 full-time staff. I'm sorry, it's a teacher thing. I'm gonna wait till I got everybody. Thank you. So we had 14 staff. We now employ almost 300 people. And the incredible amount of work that educators have done. I want you to think about an educator in your life right now and what they have had to do their job over the last 3 or 4 years in particular. Not that it was an easy job before the pandemic, but think about what people working in this work have had to do day in and day out. And that's when I think about service, just the incredible work we've seen from our team, every teacher, every operations person, every fundraiser, HR, everything, all the people that make this happen every single day. Our whole society owes them a huge debt of gratitude. They are the heroes in this country, our teachers, our educators, and everybody who works in schools. Period, end of story. Yeah. All right, so second word in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's give it up for these dancers, the East Harlem Scholars Academy High School dancers. Some of those are our founding scholars that are going to graduate in our first founding class from our high school this spring. But I want you to think about when you went to school, and some of you in this room are still in school. I'm looking at my own kids there, but I also see some of our students here. And I see our alumni, a lot of our young alumni are here. It has never taken more courage to go to school. Just think about it for a second. You got to raise your hand, right? We were talking about that today. You got to raise your hand and you got to speak up, and it's not easy. You got to put yourself out there. We ask more of kids than we've ever asked. It's doing so many things, learning so many things. Technology all over the place that we're all trying to keep up with. It takes courage to be a student in our school, and we are packed full of 2,000 courage. 2,000 courage. So give it up for our students. All right, or the next one. 3, 2, 1. Humility. So for me, I have learned so much. And I think one of the great privileges that I've gotten to have, and that's because of the supportive nature of this community. It's because of my background. It's even because of being a white male, let's say it. The privilege of a great community for everyone should be that you get to fail and get back up. You get to make mistakes and try again. Because that's when you get the humility. And that's when you learn the most. And when we are at our best at EHTP, I think you've seen it here, we give kids a chance to fail. And when they do, they raise their hand and ask the amazing questions like they did when they met with Sandra today. They raised their hand and they shared their poems and they shared their story because we ensure that our students have a chance to fail. And you all think in your life right now about that time that you made a mistake and think about what was the impact for you. But you're here now, and for a lot of students, and particularly when we think about black and brown students in this country, they don't get those extra chances, do they? The stakes are enormously high. So we've got to push as a society, but we have to push within our own organization for that chance to fail. All right, here we go in 3 seconds. We get another one. 3, 2, 1. Originality. I have learned all that kind of thing here. We don't get everything right, but every staff person, I think, will tell you, you can show up DHTP, how you're going to show up. And that's what it is. Because we want to know what you're like. You noticed on your invite, I got a couple notes from you. What do I wear? We don't tell you what to wear. You wear whatever you want. You bring yourself to the space. And then we find that brilliance. We work with you on that brilliance. We tap into that brilliance. But we want originality. And I've loved that about this place. I've always felt like I can come in and be my authentic self, but I also see so many people getting to do that every day. All right, here we go. Next one. Can you see it? 3, 2, 1. Leadership. So I want to recognize in this room so many incredible folks that have helped lead this organization do so much work. So first of all, we have some elected officials in the room. I want to recognize the Secretary of State of New York, former Assemblyman and former EHTP alumni, Robert Rodriguez. So let's give him a round of applause. I want to recognize several people in the room that are leading key work across the city in so many our community partners. I want to give a special shout out to so many small businesses. Pretty much every food you are eating tonight, every drink you are drinking tonight, everything you are seeing around you is all from our small business partners. That is leadership. Can we give them a round of applause? And I want to thank our board. Can our board members in the room and our leadership council members in the room, can you raise your hands? Right? Right? Thank you. Thank you. This does not happen without you. They are actual volunteers. We've never put that more to the test than we have recently, but they are volunteers, and there's a lot of work to do for our board, and I want to thank our board as well. And then when I also think of leadership, I want to recognize there's a number of people in the room who've been in our leadership and who are not with us every day anymore, but have visited tonight. So I've seen other members of our senior leadership team from the past. Please keep your hands in the air. Lauren is here. Lenara is here. I'm trying to see others in the room. I know there are a couple others possibly coming. So I want to shout out. Avi is here. Avi is here. So we've got so many others that have been here and more coming in the next few weeks. Okay, two more. 3, 2, 1. Let's go again. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so what I've learned is we can do a lot of things, but here's a couple of the achievements that you should know about for this year. We've now got 10 years of data, and in our after-school programs, 80% of our students have graduated from college or are on track to graduate right now. 80%. And in our senior class at our new high school right now, 70% are already into college and still rolling, 70%, okay? That is 3 times the rate in our district. So the work that we've been doing to ensure that our students can choose college if that is the right path for them, and as Tariq would tell me, I see him standing there, all the students who want to go to college are going, and we're actually really excited supporting a lot of our students on a lot of career track work that are taking that path as well. So we've seen an incredible set of achievement. The new high school building you saw is about to open in January, the first new public construction high school in 60 years, all right? The near $100 million campaign for East Harlem is done. It is closed. We built this building, we started the new building, and we've set a lot of things on our way. So there's been an enormous amount of achievement, so much more to go. The next 65 years and how our students will do, that will tell us if we've done our job, but we also have to do our job tomorrow when they're back in school, right, as well. All right, our last one on here. 3, 2, 1. Reflection. So for me, when I think about reflection, I think about actually a student that asked you a question today, Sandra, and the student said, and they asked really good questions, and the student said, how did you get the courage to write this book? And you said something that will stick with me forever and perfectly aligns to this day. You said that they have given you the courage, but you also said that anytime you do something with love, it's going to be okay. This is called the Build Love Gala for a reason. We started the Build Love campaign for a reason. My reflection is that anytime I've been willing to start with love in this work, I've done well. Every time I haven't, I haven't. And life is a mix of both. But I challenge us all to take that reflection. I challenge myself to take that reflection. When we think about that and really think about it, how you're building love in your life, building love with others, not for, with others, then I think it's going to be okay. And in this world, we need it more than ever. It has been a great privilege to be in this role. We'll be talking more A lot of you have been asking. I'm not running away. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be around the summer and the fall. The board has welcomed me onto the Leadership Council. I'll be involved. This is a home for me, as long as you'll let it be. It's very special. But I just want you to know we have the most incredible team you've ever met, ready to rock and ready to carry this work forward every single day. And by way of that, I want to introduce two of those incredible people as they come up and introduce our James Baldwin Award winner and present the award. But the last thing that I just want to say, this will be hard. I waited till the end because I knew it would make me cry. But building love comes from my family too, and that's really where it starts. And so my wife Erin is here tonight, Connor, Liam, Kathleen, and I put them through a lot, trust me. And so to all of you that have become my other family, I hope you get to meet my immediate family tonight. And let's welcome up our incredible CFO for 7 years now, and the person who makes all the numbers work somehow, Nyasha Manigault, come on up. And then really the person that has set this whole vision of this evening in place, she's the one who said, let's get back to East Harlem. We can make it work. And she also runs like 25,000 things we do here every single day, and is literally a beloved leader in this community, Ingrid Sotelo.
Good evening, y'all. Buenas noches. Awesome. Oh, love you guys too. It's beautiful to see all your faces. So thank you, Jeff, for those touching words. 3 years ago, EHTP's core values and foundational beliefs gave rise to the creation of the James Baldwin Award. By creating this award, we are able to pay homage to our community and famous heroes in East Harlem. James Baldwin is a world treasure whose literary genius paved the way for generations. Yeah. This award celebrates the writers and activists who assumed the mantle of the written word to build love, equity, and justice. At this moment, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce an extraordinary woman whose literary contributions have left more than just an impression on American literature. Her work as an author intricately weaves themes of culture, identity, and the female experience with elegance and humility. Sandra is known for her outstanding of cultural duality, a theme prominently reflected in her work. Something East Harlem and New York City in general are very familiar with. Her life, like her books, is a testament to the power of her words and the beauty of diversity. She is a recipient of numerous awards, including the National Medal of Arts from former President Barack Obama, and the Arthur MacArthur Fellowship. Yes, let's give her a round of applause. She's coming. These accolades only hint at the profound influence Sandra has had on the literary world and beyond. It is with great honor and admiration that we present the James Baldwin Award to the trailblazing author, poet, and artist, Sandra Cisneros. Thank you. I also want to highlight that the mosaic we're handing to Sandra today, which Nyasha is holding, is beautifully made by Manny Vega, a community artist that's here in this very room right now. Manny, please raise your hand. Manny has been a true partner to us from the mosaic outside to the mosaic that's soon to be in our brand new high school building. So Sandra, thank you so much. I am humbled, I am honored. We're so happy that you're able to join us today. Thank you. Ahora sí le toca.
you're giving the award to the wrong person. You are the awardees in my book, and I look up to you because you are the good news in a time of darkness. And I often read the news and quote the Wicked Witch of the West. What a world, what a world. And we need the good news. So sometimes we have to create that good news. And each of you here, all together, have brightened my life. This award means so much to me because when my first book, a novel, rather my first novel because I had a book before that, my first novel, The House on Mongo Street, was published in 1984, the very month that I moved to South Texas, to San Antonio. And I had put a lot of work in that book. Started it when I was 22 and finished it thanks to a National Endowment to the Arts grants at 28. If I hadn't gotten that grant, I would still be writing the book. So I'm very, very grateful that I was able to quit my job and focus on my passion. It appeared in South Texas, as I said, and the very first thing I got was a bashing by my Chicano writer colleagues because they felt it wasn't a political book. So to get this award today, named after a writer I admire for his novels, his activism, for his light in the community, is an affirmation, a blessing, a confirmation. And you know, at this age, 68, to say, well, I think I was right all along. It was a political book, and everything that I've been doing since is a culmination of my concern for my community. So I thank you so much for this award. I was very taken by your motto, love, liberate, heal. So I want to talk about each of those things very briefly because my suitcase didn't arrive on time and my cowboy boots are somewhere lost in the planet. So I had to buy these shoes, and I have not worn high heels this high since the disco era. So after this talk, I'm going to walk around barefoot, I think. But anyway, very briefly, healing. James Baldwin said, a child cannot be taught by anyone who despises him. And I had very low self-esteem, as I was sharing with the students today. I went to a school that was run by, I like to say, the unhappy housewives of God. Now, it was not their fault that they were unhappy. I'm sure they wanted to do other things than teach 44 students of mixed grades in a classroom. And as such, a lot of children slipped through the cracks. And I was one of those children. And I had such low self-esteem, I never raised my hand. I hardly ever talked in class. And when I did, I had to go, because it was the first time I would talk all day. And I didn't know that other children came to school and were not afraid to speak. I didn't know that there was such a thing as a school like this one, where you have teachers and family and community loving you and helping you to succeed. But I want to talk about something that happened. There was a miracle. In 1966, Chicago had a terrible winter. And we lived in brownstones like the ones you see out here on the top floor of a building that had seen better days. And we paid $50 a month rent. We were 7 children, 2 adults, so my father needed to look for low rent. But in 1966, a miracle happened, and the pipes froze. We had no water. We had to go downstairs 4 flights and borrow water from our neighbor who would put a rubber garden hose from their kitchen sink out the window in February in Chicago. And we would fill up milk gallons that at that time were glass, maybe you remember that if you're my age, and carry them up 4 flights of stairs. When my father saw that his children were lugging water up and down in the middle of winter, He sold his beloved red Chevy station wagon that he hadn't paid for yet, and he borrowed money from everybody he knew that would loan it to him, and he bought a down payment on our very first home, which became the model for the house on Manga Street on the other side of town. Unlike the character in my book, we loved that house, and we especially liked that when you opened the faucets, water came out. And when you flushed it, the waste was swept away. It was just a great house. And with this move came a move to the Sisters of Christian Charity, which are blessed with that name because they really are Christian charity. And there was a special teacher who I'm ashamed to say I don't know her name because she was only my teacher for a half of a semester. And she did something no teacher had ever done in my life. I was drawing and coloring, and she took the paper off my desk, and my heart leapt because anytime a teacher singled you out, it meant you were going to be set as an example of what you should not do. And she took my page to the front of the class, and I was just trembling. And she held it up, and she said, "Look what our new student has drawn. Isn't this beautiful?" I had never been singled out for something beautiful, and I didn't know that drawing was a special gift. And I was sure this teacher was confused because I wore little blue pointy glasses that I'd gotten from the Sears, and I thought, she must think I'm smart. Well, I felt sorry for her, so I did something I had never done at the Unhappy Housewives of God School. I started to raise my hand, and my grades went from C's and D's to at this new school to C's and B's and A's by the time I graduated in the 8th grade. And I think if I had not met that special teacher, whose name I can't remember, but I will never forget her, I would not be standing here before you. She made me understand I was loved and worth something. I also have to thank my parents. My mother never went beyond 9th grade and regretted it. My father abandoned first year of the UNAM, Universidad de Mexico, and regretted it. So maybe they weren't the best marriage, but they were the best parents. And as a teen, they pushed education when maybe in our neighbors' homes that wasn't a priority. Every Sunday, we went to the Chicago museums that back then were free on the days when my father had his day off. And every Saturday, my mother took us to the public library. Librarians and teachers especially helped to launch House on Manga Street, and I want to give them gratitude. For Liberate, I think my mother and father knew an education would liberate us from poverty, and they always pushed us. And as far as love, one thing I know for sure, and I said it this morning, I learned it from writing House. Whatever you create with love on behalf of those you love, siempre sale bonito. Whatever you create with love on behalf of those you love with no ego, with no personal agenda, siempre sale bonito. It will always turn out well. And that's I think, a law of the universe that my life has taught me. So this award tonight I accepted on behalf of my ancestors and their migrations, forced or otherwise. My mother's parents were forced by a war in Mexico to meander into the United States. And even though they could not read nor write until they were elders, they had have a lot of courage and a lot of humility to make it all the way to Chicago working as laborers. My father's people were Sephardic Jews. I don't know all their stories of conversion and migrations, but I know I am a part of their continuance. I thank my mother for her activism. I thank my father for his steadfast love and a life lived laboring honestly. I thank them both for their supreme belief that an education would improve our lives. The Chicago Public Library, the Museums of Chicago, the teacher in the 6th grade who believed I was worth something and nurtured me when I was flailing. I thank my blood ancestors, grandparents Jose Eleuterio Cordero y Maria Felipe Anguiano, who could not read nor write, as I said, and my paternal grandparents, Enrique Cisneros and Trinidad del Moral. I thank my literary ancestors, Hans Christian Andersen, Carl Sandburg, Gwendolyn Brooks, Elena Poniatowska, James Baldwin. I thank Divine Providence and the frozen pipes, the Chicago winter of 1966. I thank you all tonight.
Thank you. You want me to? You want to help us? Or you want me to?
Hi, everyone. I'll keep this brief. I won't make everyone repeat good evening, but it's wonderful to be with all of you this evening. My name is Billy Rahm. I'm the board chair here. Tonight's a really remarkable night, as many people have said, for us to come back to East Harlem, for us to be in this building, for us to celebrate Sandra and her amazing work. I also want to recognize specifically one person briefly, my friend Lily Linton, who's been on the board here for 30 years, who recruited me to be on the board here, and who's been an incredible supporter, someone who's challenged us to put the kids first, to always think about how we can do better in this community, for this community, and who has really, I think, in her actions, epitomized the love that we're trying to aspire to. So thank you, Lily, for. I also, I want to thank a lot of our lead supporters. I'm going to run through a few names. There are so many more people who have supported this organization, many of whom are here in this room and are not able to be with us tonight. So I'm going to identify a few names, but I just want to say we're so blessed to have such broad support from both this community, East Harlem, and beyond. I specifically want to thank Cindy and Brian Gavin, Rachel and Jimmy Levin, Judith and Andrew Tucker, Marilyn and Jim Simons, Joan Solitar, Stacy and Jonathan Pollock, Cindy and Don Cornwell, Judith Gibbons and Francesco Scatoni, Lori Roth and David Schnadig, Simpson Thatcher and the partners here tonight, and Blackstone and the many partners there who have supported us. So thank you certainly to all of them. I first, I'm not going to speak much about me, but I first became involved here in 1992 in what was that small blue building that you saw up above that was the home of this organization for so long. And, it was my home every weekend for 4 years. It was something that meant a great deal to me, and I've been really incredibly fortunate to be part of this community. I would say that over time we all grow up. A lot of kids are here, and lots of things happen in your life. You move away, you come home. EHTP has always been a place that I've come home to. I think that's a lot of what Build Love is supposed to be about. I would also say that at moments when I thought about moving on to other things in my life, it's really been the people that have kept me here, both the kids, but especially also the people that I interact with who are really the leaders in that teaching and learning. And certainly Jeff, for 15 years, has helped transform this from that blue building, which had all of the warmth and wonderful resources that made this such an important part of the community, into a real campus for East Harlem that allows us to serve school kids through 5 schools. And I think more even than the facilities you see here, this gym, the building a couple blocks away that we're building, it's the legacy of the team, many of whom are here, people that he mentioned like Lauren and Lenara, Avi, and people who have been leaders here, and especially the people you've seen tonight, Modi Yehi, our Chief Schools Officer, and Ingrid and Nyasha. And I think the legacy of any leader is really the people that they're able to attract and what they can really do in the next chapter, because certainly those three are just incredible leaders, and we're so privileged to have them, and for I know the board who gets a chance to work with them, really blessed. So I'm going to leave us here and just say one more thanks to Sandra Cisneros. I think when we started the James Baldwin Award, it was very much an idea of almost hearkening back to when we used to have these benefits. We did them actually at the 92nd Street Y, and George Plimpton and Calvin Trillin would host authors. And it was because, Tom Weber, who's here, his mother Helen Weber started this organization all around literacy. In their living room, oh, hi, Tom. In their living room with books. And so we've always tried to lift up the written word, and I think with this award, we try to do that annually and to honor individuals who not only lift it up with the beauty of their writing. I've had a chance to read The House on Mango Street this year. It is an unbelievably beautiful book, but also who change the way we think about the world and who are able to, through their word, make a difference in society. So I want to leave it with Sandra Cisneros. I want to leave it with this community, and Maria, and so many people who have made this such a special place for our students, and we'll continue to do that work going forward. So thank you all for being here tonight. I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Good night.